What is it like being a Jamaican in Norway? I'm Xavier Murphy, the founder of Jamaicans.com. And today on this episode of Jamaicans to the World, we're going to talk to Terri Senior, who lives in Norway and has been there for a while. So welcome, Terri. How are you?
I am fine. Thank you so much for having me, Xavier.
Oh, no, we are here to learn about Norway and your experience and tell your story. So we are so honored to have you here. My first question is this. Which part of Jamaica you come from?
Kingston, my dear. Kingston, born and bred.
And which high school, because you know we're passionate about the high schools. Which high school you went to in Kingston?
A proud St. Andrew High School, as you said earlier, not old girl, but former student.
That's my sister's school there, so we're brothers and sisters, my dear.
Perfect start for this interview.
So my first question is this. How did you end up in Norway?
Oh my goodness. It started out in a country even further north than this, actually. I left Jamaica and started working and was in a relationship with an Icelander, actually, and moved from Iceland to Norway with him in 1995.
Wow. Iceland. So you got me curious now. How long you said you were in Iceland?
2.5 years.
And what was that experience like?
It was indescribable. It's just something out of this world. I mean, Norway is obviously very exotic as well, but Iceland was just a whole other dimension. The fascinating thing about it is that in terms of the weather and the culture and all of that, you couldn't be further away from Jamaica. It's just not possible. But on the other hand, Icelanders also had a kind of island mentality. It's really fascinating, and that's in contrast to Norwegians. The Icelanders were more open. There were some similarities to Jamaicans in spite of everything.
And it's cool.
Yeah. No doubt about it. No doubt about it.
So what do you like about Norway? Or love? What do you love? What do you love about Norway?
There's lots to love, I have to admit. Of course, the darkness 6 months of the year is not among my favorite things. But then after those 6 months, it's like pretty much 6 months of light, daylight practically all day long. So I love that. You know what, Xavier? I love the safety. I love having kids who I don't have to worry about constantly. I love the idea that Norwegians practice day by day, the idea that the more equal people are, the more stable a society you have. And they really, that's their mantra. That's their really heartfelt belief, and they practice it in every level of society. So I think that is my absolute favorite thing.
It's funny you say that, because I have my youngest daughter always brings up these European countries that she likes, how I guess the policies of that these European countries, and Norway is always at the top of her list. And I'm thinking one day she's gonna pick up and say, she's not gone to college yet. She's not, she's getting ready. And I think one of these days, in the next couple months, she's a senior. I'm thinking I'm gonna hear, I'm going to Norway to college.
Please let her come. There's an international college not far from here. So if she does come, I'll be able to hook up with her. So just send her.
So I think you already answered what was my next question, which is the thing you like the least, and it's a 6 months.
You know what? In 1995, when I came here, and obviously in Iceland, it was even more extreme. But in your youth, to tell you the truth, I didn't even register it. The cold, the constant cold, these long months of darkness. Honestly, it's like I was so busy enjoying the adventure that I didn't really register register it at all. So it's actually now that I'm approaching a certain age that it has become an issue. But it's exotic as well. I mean, it's there are positive things to having seasons as well. And if the winter is a nice stable winter, then that's nice as well. I can deal.
Good. So tell us about the interaction, the culture, and the people. A little bit about the Norwegians. You did say some of the government type policies, but the people. What is it like? What are they like?
For us, it's going to be unavoidable to kind of have a feeling that they are reserved. They are more reserved. I mean, it's not like, I usually use this picture. I usually say that when Jamaicans get on a bus, they will probably want to go and sit beside someone to be able to strike up a conversation. Whereas in Norway, the opposite is true. Each person is beside the window looking out, and nobody is kind of really interested to go and run and sit beside each other to have a chat. It has nothing to do, though, in my experience, with the hostility or being skeptical or anything like that. Norwegians are actually worried that they will encroach on your space. So it's a reservation that you have to get used to. But once you do get to know Norwegian people, they are like, they hardly small talk. They hardly say, they are not superficial. So you don't get this, oh, nice to see you and hope to see you again, unless they really mean it. And if they say, let's keep in touch, or I'll get in touch, then they do. It's not just something they say.
Wow.
So it's not a small talking nation, which for me, we are Jamaicans. We talk about everything at any time to anyone, So
Good.
it takes some getting used to, but I actually have learned to really appreciate that.
Good. No, you mentioned something. We're Jamaicans. So what's the reaction? You're in you're kind of outside of a big city. You're in a smaller town to an extent. What's the reaction when someone learns, meets Terri and says, Terri's a Jamaican? What's the reaction, or what's the funniest reaction you may have gotten?
You know what? Luckily, mostly positive. People associate Jamaica with mostly positive things. It has been really surprising to know. This is a small nation as well. Norway is a small country. They excel when you think about their size. They excel in winter sports. They have produced some extremely well-known winter sportsmen, and they are sports crazy. So it has been such a positive thing to experience that. Oh, Jamaica, it's a positive thing, and they know like 10 different sports people, not only in track and field, but they know about Jamaican sports people, and oh yeah, John Barnes and whatever. So they know all of that. And then when you meet the older generation of Norwegians, you will always come across people who have been on some Norwegian cruise ship somewhere in Jamaica at some point. So everybody knows Ocherios, and guaranteed that everybody knows the chorus of at least 2 Harry Belafonte songs when you meet that generation. So mostly it has been truly positive, really.
Well, that is good to know. That's great to know. You know, we know, as you said, Norway and the ice sports is really a big thing, and it kind of leads me to a question for you. Have you gotten into the ice sports? Have you gotten into the skiing and all of that stuff? Have you gotten into any of that?
I've had no choice. We actually have our own version of the Alps in the area where I live in. So it's a renowned ski area with many tourists, even people coming here from the real Alps, Austria, Italy. So skiing is big here. My partner is a big skiing freak. The kids are totally into it, so I have had no choice, and I actually enjoy it. I have some level of competence. I'm not going to try to pretend that I am an expert, but the kids have given me more and more compliments of late, so I'm not that bad.
Well, better you than me. That thing is, I tried it once. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work.
It sure is. But I think, and again, you know, it's like I think people. It has been in all areas when I've come here. People appreciate if, you know, when you're trying to learn the language, they are like cheering you on. Oh, that's so good that you want to do this. And it's the same with, you know, if they see you attempting something that you're obviously not good at or obviously not used to, they are like cheering you on. So trust me, I have not been on the mountains without falling over constantly in the first few times, but it's getting there.
So I have a question about food now. You know, is there a Norwegian or a food that you like, you know, that is uniquely from Norway? Tell us about it. You know, what you love, the food.
I love food, and in contrast to when I was a kid, because my mom said that we didn't eat anything when we were kids, and now I am pretty much open to everything and eat everything. There are exotic things here like brown cheese, and traditionally you can get served like a sheep's head with all the trimmings and, you know, the really exotic things.
A sheep's head.
A sheep's head with the eyeballs and all intact if you are in the right place.
Okay, so it's almost like we have our Manish water, they have their sheep's head.
Exactly. So in the middle of all of this, you know, exotic experience, every once in a while you're like, oh yeah, but wait, we do that too. So it's like on the food originally is very bland compared to what we are used to. Obviously, they have loads of fish. I mean, that's the second highest export commodity from Norway after oil. So lots of fresh fish and everything. But the first time people saw me currying catfish, they were like, "What?" But lots of good food, lots of excellent seafood here, which I really love.
Good.
In Iceland, it was definitely more exotic than even here. They were eating shark that was fermented, and yeah. You don't want to hear all the details, Xavier. Trust me.
That sounds great. So then, your curry now, you're probably the talk of the neighbors when they hear you're currying. They're coming over or asking, when are you currying again?
But it's true. I actually have had Jamaican cooking classes here.
Oh, that's
So,
fascinating.
oh yeah, man, and suddenly you will buck up people around the area who is like, yeah, rice and peas and chicken. Oh yeah,
So,
and
so you're
they love it.
Jamaicanizing that small town.
Listen, person by person, you have to get it in there. They have to have the Jamaican experience somewhere or the other, whether
So,
willingly or by force.
so what do you miss the most about Jamaica?
As I said, in the early years here, I wouldn't have answered warmth or light, but now I do. No, I am really like, oh my goodness, I would just love to more often be able to just throw on a t-shirt and take a nice walk around the lake here or something. That is something I'm starting to miss, both the light and the warmth. And what can I say? Who can replace Jamaican people? The humor and the things we are taken up with, and yeah, I mean, you just have to. Jamaicans are just a unique bunch. So obviously, Jamaican people, and as you have been asking, some food things as well. It's not like I have a ackee tree here.
So
So,
what's the top? Oh, so you see my Aki back
oh,
over
it
here.
was ackee. Oh yes, no, I sight it up. All right, okay, yes.
Uh, so what's your favorite Jamaican dish?
Oh gosh, no, we don't have the time.
All right, all right.
I don't have a favorite. When I go home, I haven't been to Jamaica for quite a while actually, because my mom now lives in Barbados. But when I'm at home, I want everything: stew peas, rundown, curry chicken, curry shrimp, ackee and saltfish, kalaloo, the whole works. I miss it. I miss it all.
So your children, um, you know, how are they with the, in terms of the Jamaican culture? You have a Norwegian culture here and the Jamaican culture. How are they identified? Is there kind of like a battle? Tell me a little bit about that.
That's an interesting question. My son is he just turned a teenager, so now he's kind of actually digging his Jamaican roots. He's like listening to Jamaican music now, and seemingly wants to identify more with the Jamaican side right now. My daughter is younger. She's the perfect 50-50. It's like one half of the day she will be talking Jamaican and sounding like she never did anything else, and then the other half is like, oh, her skiing and her winter thing. So it's really, but my son is now in the stage where the whole Jamaican experience is so cool, and that's what he's identifying with right now.
That's what I was gonna say. I think when we have that second generation, they go through a phase and then they get to a phase where it is so cool to be Jamaican.
Yes.
Yes. and it tends to stick with them when they get to that phase. It tends to move and stick with them.
Yeah, for sure.
for a while.
Yeah, for sure. So now he's like informing me. So like, oh, mommy, did you know that Patrick Ewing is a Jamaican? Oh, did you know that John Barnes is? I'm like, yeah, wait. You're not telling me anything I didn't know. But for him, it's like, whoa, So he's googling all these famous Jamaicans, and yeah, it's really big right now. So I'm very pleased with that. Very pleased.
Good. Now, if I was coming over, or any Jamaican or anybody was coming to Norway, what would be the one thing? It could be attraction, it could be a place, it could be something interesting. I know for example, I know that with this light and dark and the 6 months, there's some interesting colors that happen because, so again, what would you say would be the thing that if somebody was coming over, you would say, hey, see this or try to see this?
People are not going to be blown away. I mean, if you're an LA urbanite, kind of like looking for the best nightclub experience kind of thing, probably not. But as you pointed out, I mean, the nature here is it is spectacular. I mean, I know lots of countries profess to have exciting nature and whatever, but here it is like mind-blowingly. It is kind of like it's like, oh my God, is it possible? The air is so clean and the water is so pure, and so definitely going up north, much further north than here, to see the northern lights, for example, or the midnight sun. That is just like wow. People who experience that never forget it. And as I said, because we are most of Norway is mountainous, but not everywhere. So again, if you are around the capital looking for that more urban experience, it's beautiful too, but you don't get these breathtaking mountains that we have in our region. And Good. it's just it has to be experienced. The glaciers, there are so many glaciers in our area. So yeah.
Good.
So much to see.
Your biggest adjustment, what would you say was your biggest adjustment apart from the night and day? Biggest adjustment you would say? And I want to wrap it up in another question in terms of if a Jamaican is moving there or someone is moving there, what do you see as big adjustments, even from that perspective?
There aren't many Jamaicans living here, and I'm thinking that is not just because of immigration issues. I'm thinking that people who are, I mean, Jamaicans are a social people, right?
Yes.
Jamaicans are accustomed to, as we were talking about earlier, getting in there, getting to know people. It's like not having to break down barriers to get to know people and stuff like that. I definitely believe that would be the biggest challenge for an average Jamaican coming here, getting used to this kind of like, oh yeah, but what's wrong with them people? I mean, I know this person for 2 months now and I'm not getting anywhere, so that's a big adjustment. I would say that is probably the biggest thing, getting to kind of like crack that code. What makes these people tick and how can I make them relate to me? But as I said to you, when you get there, is like people who you can call in the middle of the night and them come and help you. so that's just the way it is.
So my last question is this, because you haven't been to Jamaica in a little bit. What's the first thing you're going to do when the plane lands? Don't tell me about the food now. We can't talk about the food. When the plane lands, what's the first thing you're doing?
You know what? I think because I haven't been home for such a long time, I'm thinking that the first thing I do when I land is totally confused. I am thinking that the place has changed. So that whole area at Norman Manley International Airport has probably changed so much that I wouldn't even recognize. I would probably just have to get in a car and somebody take me on a tour through Kingston. Just honestly, I'm thinking, people are now telling me that, oh yeah, when you drive down there and there, and I'm like, what? That no, don't think we had that. So straight from the airport, straight into a car on some kind of tour to find out. Yeah.
All right, a tour.
Yeah, a tour. Real tourists, real tourists.
So I'm going to give you the last word. Any final thoughts on Norway that you want to share with our audience? Any final thoughts?
One thing that has kind of fascinated me probably is the fact that there has also apparently been some kind of, I have to investigate this further, but I think there has been some kind of political connection as well. Norway has very established and very strong roots in democratic socialism, and as far as I am discovering now, had a very close relationship to democratic socialists in Jamaica as well, long before I came here. So I keep on. This is going to be a whole research project for me as well. But there are little snippets here and there of politicians from here having visited Jamaica, and people who have been cooperating between the two governments on specific projects. So we have been friends at some point, and I think they are still friendly relations.
Well, Terri, it was great having you. Thank you for sharing your story with us. And we will talk. We'll keep in touch with you. And your son, maybe we see him representing Jamaica, maybe we see him representing Norway. But we will hear from you, and this story continues.
For sure. Thank you so much, Xavier. I am just digging what you are doing. This is such an excellent concept. So good luck to you as well.
Thank you very much, Terri. Thank you. You have a good evening there.
You too.
Show some love now. Hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and hit that notification bell. That way you don't miss a video.